Conservative Broadcast Media. This is a conservative blues show featuring Rick Webb and Carrie Shelton. This ain't your daddy's talk radio. This is in-your-face, take-no-prisoners, confrontational conservatism. We've got the keys to the bus tonight, so get in, sit down, shut up, and enjoy the ride. Now, let's jam. And welcome back to the Conservative Blues Show here on Conservative Broadcast Media. Well, if you were listening in to the start of the show, we had a major meltdown here in the old studio, and basically we had to start all over again. So those of you who are listening live are probably freaking out and trying to find us again. And those of you who are listening on podcasts, well, you're just picking us right where we left off. So where we left off was coming out of the news. So, you know what time it is now then, boys and girls. It's time for...
News we don't care about.
That's right. All the inane babbling, the mindless mumbling, the buckets of baloney the mainstream media will try to shovel to you, at you, and on you. All the salacious headlines they'll go on and on about all day long, but we're only going to give you one time here. So, you better listen in close the first time. Today's news we don't care about, brought to you by CBS News. Because if you're watching CBS News, you really see BS. Yeah, clever fellow, aren't I? I thought so. All right, headlines today out of CBS News are... Megan Fox gets super sexy for sharper image. Angelina Jolie's children cast in Maleficent. CBS orders full seasons of Elementary and Vegas. City of Seattle as a desolate urban wasteland. RFK's son on trial for scuffle with hospital nurses. Facebook earnings top Wall Street estimates. Netflix cuts forecast for subscriber gains. Ozzie Gillen fired as Marlins manager. Venezuela cheers for a record 9 World Series players. New Red Sox manager vows aggressive style. Giant black hole unleashes massive cosmic jet. Apple announces next generation of iMac. Black fungus specks found in vials at NECC. Okay. Well, Greenwood, Colorado woman arrested and charged with mistreatment of horses. Wow. And finally, Gangnam Style with a dancing robot. That's right, folks. You heard it here first. They gave you the news. Now that was...
News we don't care about.
That don't impress me much. Yeah.
All right. Well, that didn't impress me much either. What about you, Bub?
No, I was not impressed whatsoever.
Not even a little bit?
No, I kind of like that show, Elementary, though.
Yeah. I actually kind of like the show Vegas. It's a new Dennis Quaid project. Carrie Ann Moss and Dennis Quaid and oh, what's his name that played Mackie on The Shield was the thing in the movie.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
His name escapes me right now. The Commish, where he started off, as I recall. But show's pretty good. Any rate, I'm not here to broadcast for CBS. So, they do their own thing. So, what do you say we go ahead since we already got our little kickback going here? We're going to have to adjust our time on the show here about 15 minutes. So, we still got 18 minutes to shoot the shit, bub.
All right.
All right, so wanted to go into, of course, the final presidential debate yesterday. My first observation, and before we get into the substance, and I wanted to get your opinion on this, Rick. Of what did you think of Bob Schieffer's job as a moderator?
I thought he did a pretty decent job for considering who he is and what he is.
Hmm.
I thought he was pretty fair.
My estimation was, I mean, he let him kind of rove around a little bit, which was all right. I didn't get all upset about that. He didn't always hold them to their time, which is again, who can when you get a couple of politicians talking. Um, but all in all, I mean, he did refer to President Obama, or he did refer to Obama bin Laden once,
Yes, he did.
and and the look on his face, you knew you knew he had screwed up, and he knew it almost immediately when he said it that oh crap. But you could see the look on his face. He kind of flinched a little bit, but to his credit, being the showman that he is, it must go on, and so it did. But one of the key things that caught my attention during the debate, and apparently a lot of people, because the video on this is just that has gone through the roof. Everybody's talking about this morning, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you missed it, uh, Governor Romney had mentioned that the Navy had requested a 313 ship Navy, so that's how many ships they needed to be able to maintain their mission, and were bemoaning the fact that their ship levels had dropped to about 285. And Governor Romney was saying, hey, if I'm the president, we'll get these ships back where the Navy wants them, where the Navy needs them, what they've asked for. To which President Obama replied this.
But I think Governor Romney maybe hasn't spent enough time looking at how our military works. You mentioned the Navy, for example, and that we have fewer ships than we did in 1916. Well, Governor, we also have fewer horses and bayonets because the nature of our military has changed. We have these things called aircraft carriers where planes land on them. We have these ships that go underwater, nuclear submarines. And so the question is not a game of battleship where we're counting ships. It's what are our capabilities? And so when I...
Your reaction, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your.
Been sitting there, and he talked to me in that tone.
Hmm.
Well, you know what I would have done.
My first reaction was, what a pretentious prick. This guy hasn't the first clue as to what's going on in his own, and I say in his own, metaphorically, of course, in his own military as commander in chief.
Right.
The Navy is the one that said that they need 313 ships, not Governor Romney.
But he swears up and down they didn't ask for them.
Right. And they're not asking for any additional spending. How many times did he say that?
Right.
But that Governor Romney was going to spend this extra money that the military is not even asking for. Well, sorry, Mr. President, the Navy saying they need at least 28 more ships that they don't have right now because of your policies, and going farther, into the sequestration that's we're on the brink of. is going to cut the Navy even further down. Governor Romney was talking about the Navy was at its lowest level since 1916, 1917, whatever, pre-World War One era. And then this clown comes up. Well, guess what? We also have fewer horses and bayonets, as if we don't have any of those in the military anymore. On the contrary, I myself posted an article about the horsemen of 9/11, as what they call themselves. These were special operations soldiers that went into battle in Afghanistan on horseback. Why? Because you can't drive a Humvee up there.
Right.
The fast attack vehicles, the FAVs, they can't traverse up there. We have soldiers that ride horses into battle. We have horses in the military today. They pull caissons during military funerals. The color guard, or the honor guard, utilizes horses, as if we don't have horses in the military today. And then the bayonets. While the army did discontinue its school of the bayonet, it has not withdrawn bayonet training per se, and that the fact that the soldiers receive close quarter combat drills using a bladed weapon. I don't know. Some people call it a bayonet.
Yeah, you can call it a jackknife too. But still, same thing. One big pocket knife you got there, buddy.
And let's not forget also that the Marine Corps is still issued bayonet to this day. So I thought he came off as snarky, petty, looking for every opportunity he could. Well, which is that part. As a debate. If you're looking to win a debate, you look for every opening that your opponent will give you. I've heard literally dozens of commentators today that were talking about the debate. Rick, I really want to get your take on what you thought, how the debate actually went. I know you and I talked about this at length after the debate last night. I actually watched it on the replay in the early hours of the morning today. But just to kind of solidify what my opinion was, what was your opinion of the debate overall?
I think that our current occupant of the White House came across as an arrogant asshole.
Hmm.
And the looks that he was looked like he was like, how dare you
Right.
say anything to me at all?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that Romney came across as a lot more presidential.
Well, I think I told you last night. I think it was Charles Krauthammer, but it may not have been. One of the conservative commentators noted, and the phrase hit me so hard that I wrote it down, but I forgot to write down who actually said it. I believe it was Krauthammer, but I could be mistaken. Said that Governor Romney seemed his default face was that of a benign smile and an interesting. There was he was seemed interested in what